What's up, legends? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be running you through my thoughts and feelings on DJI's introductory beginner-friendly drone, the DJI Mini 4 Pro. Now, if you are new to filmmaking, if you're just getting into the world of YouTube and content creation, well, hopefully this video gives you some insight as to whether this is something you should add to your kit. And if you are an established filmmaker, maybe this, also gives you some insight as to why this could be a product that can help you with your upcoming projects and productions. Let's get stuck into it. If I was to compare my Phantom 4 with what is available right now in the form factor and image quality of the DJI Mini 4 Pro, holy dooly, we've come a long way. So at the top of this list, I have to talk about the drone's form factor. It is undeniable that having a drone under 250 grams, like the size of my hand, is not a valued asset to any travel filmmaker's kit. Because one of our biggest challenges as filmmakers, specifically in the travel realm, is weight. So when you can just pack in this, when you can just go, I'm taking that, it's a no-brainer, especially if you're doing trips where you're overlanding or overhike. I wish I had this before Anna and I did the Tour du Mont Blanc last year, because it 100% would have come in my kit. I literally just took the Sony and this 24 to just one camera, one lens, because several days hiking 30 kilometers per day, carrying everything, every kilogram, every gram matters. And that's where I think for those of you that are more established filmmakers, and for those of you that are looking for alternative options to make sure that you're ticking off shots and getting the content that you want, then grabbing something like the DJI Mini 4 Pro is an incredibly valuable asset to your kit. Big plus is portability, but let's talk about how that may compare in terms of an image quality thing. Like, one of the reasons why you wouldn't get something like this if weight isn't an issue is actually the image sensor and the image size comparatively to, say, the Mavic 3, or even the option of having multiple lenses on the drone. So if you've got something like the DJI Mavic 3, which is much heavier and feels much more like, so when I first picked this up, I was like, this feels like a toy. It feels so light that it could be just a kid's toy. The difference is that when you're shooting with say a 1-inch Hasselblad sensor versus this much smaller image sensor, I can't remember, it's like 1 over 1.9 inch, I think. You're gonna get more definition, more information in the sensor, and essentially the image quality is going to be better. You're going to be able to shoot in more dynamic lighting environments comparatively to something like this. That, again, is not the be all and end all. The question is, like, why would you choose that other one over a Mavic 3 Pro over something like this? And I think the answer to that is, if you are doing more commercial shoots, it really is like coming down to some of those color profiles. Like if you're wanting to shoot in ProRes or ProRes 422, or some of those advanced features that cinematographers and editors are really looking for when they're coming to shoot their more higher end productions. One of the massive benefits of this drone that I found in this Corsica video, if you haven't checked that out, highly recommend that you check it out, is its active tracking and its ability to create waypoints so that you can capture incredible content on your own. I obviously wasn't putting the drone through really challenging obstacles, but if you were going through, say, forests and things where there are more obstacles that the drone has to go around, I'm sure the results may differ, but in my experience, I've found that the active tracking and setting waypoints so helpful to creating really fun content as a solo traveler. In terms of the kit, in terms of the setup, when I'm specifically shooting with this drone, I really love to shoot in like the HLG picture profile. I just tend to lean on HLG as opposed to going to, say, D-Log or D-Log-M. But that's not to say that I don't. HLG, I think, is just a nice balance between, say, shooting in the saturated tones of standard video versus shooting in something like D-Log, which is completely flat. For those of you that are shooting in D-Log, definitely go down into the description and grab the lookup table that DJI have created. It does an amazing job of color grading the D-Log footage so that when you put that into your project, you can just drop on that lookup table and the footage looks amazing. So you can essentially be shooting with the image sensor vertically, which is perfect for those of you looking to create social media content. Now that is a big plus, and it's a big plus compared to my other drones. I've got the Air 2S and the Mavic 3, and neither of those two drones are capable of doing that. So I highly recommend this if you are looking to be creating reels, shorts, or anything which is natively 9x16. Anything which is vertical video content, if that's your focus, then this is another selling point for the drone. One of the downsides, I guess, is its weight. Like, it's a benefit, but it's also can be a bit of a weakness because it's so light. It can get thrown around a little bit more in the wind compared to, say, the Mavic 3. I do feel like the Mavic 3 holds higher knots. I don't really like to fly drones when it's above 15 knots, but if it's like 20 knot winds, I still feel like the Mavic 3 does a good job of keeping the shots really nice, clean, and stable. Whereas I would question putting up a 249 gram drone in really windy environments. I did put it up in Corsica when it was super windy, but I flew the drone very close to me. When you're like taking it way further away from you, I feel like that's when you can potentially run into problems because you're essentially fighting that velocity of the wind to try and get the drone back to you. And that's when it really starts to chew up the battery. In terms of battery life, that does lead me on to the next point. I would never recommend just having one battery for any serious creator, serious drone pilot. Anytime that I'm taking this drone out on the field and out on a shoot, I'm always using the Fly More combo. And that's so you get these extra 2 batteries so that you can essentially fly more. In terms of the drone setup, I'm a big fan of the new RC2 controller. I've always found it frustrating to take my mobile phone out and connect my mobile phone to the old school style DJI remotes. One is those cables always seem to break. So having the RC2 where you have the screen, it's literally a computer in your hand, makes this one of my favorite products to work with. All in all, here are my thoughts about pros and cons of like choosing to buy DJI's Mini 4 Pro. One thing that I would definitely take into consideration as a beginner is certainly buying the minimum 2 years of Fly More Care or the Care package. You are still testing your own capabilities and limits with the product. And I will tell you now that even a more experienced pilot like myself that's probably clocked up hundreds of hours of drone flights, I still push the limits. I have had problems with salt getting into the gimbal and creating problems with this particular drone. Straight away, I just recommend getting DJI's like care plan. So if you do crash your drone, they will replace it without fail. If you are someone who likes to travel, someone who likes to do multiple day trips and weight is a really limiting factor, this drone ticks a box. The entry level price is phenomenal. It's small, lightweight, compact, ticks so many boxes there. Now, there's obviously ways that you can create better drone content by the experience that you have with your drone settings and with your lighting environments and understanding how to shoot. If you're interested in a settings guide, drop me a comment below and I will do my best to create a full comprehensive settings guide on how I specifically shoot with the DJI Mini 4 Pro. The downsides of this particular product, I will say, are that it can feel a little bit flimsy. It can feel like a bit of a toy. Anyone that I've recommended this drone to, specifically some of my masterclass students, have also mentioned that when they've gone to practice their drone flights with the Mini 4 Pro in really high wind velocities, that they've just been like, oh, first of all, they didn't feel comfortable flying it. The notifications that pop up on the controller do scare you. Personally, I've felt that flying the Mavic 3 in higher wind velocities just doesn't have an issue. It cuts through it. And I just feel more confident in like that 45-minute bigger battery getting me home safe than this smaller battery and smaller form factor drone. This is definitely my favorite beginner drone that DJI have put out. That being said, I haven't tested any competitors. I haven't tested anything from Auto Robotics. So if you are in the market, I would probably go and check out a bunch of other videos on like what Auto Robotics have available, you know, what their prices are. Do your research on prices. Also do your research on what's being sold secondhand. Because maybe you can pick up, say, like the Mavic 2 Pro, which is an awesome drone, which I've also crashed. Maybe a better image quality because you're shooting with like a bigger Hasselblad image sensor, and you also have zoom capabilities that might suit your style of travel filmmaking more so than this one. If you are looking to pick up a DJI Mini 4 Pro, I'd encourage you to use the affiliate link in the description. It's a great way to support this channel, as it will provide some commission for me to continue to make these videos at no extra cost to you guys. Guys, thank you so much for sharing the stoke. I hope this has helped you. Definitely check out the Corsica vlog and see my highs and lows of being a solo travel creator, and I'll see you guys in the next one. JR. Peace.